George S. Patton is probably everybody's favourite American general from the Second World War. Well, most people's favourite anyway, but I have seen suggestions that his mental health mightn't have been entirely up to par. Particularly, we have the incident during the Sicily campaign in the summer of 1943 where he famously slapped two soldiers, one of whom had physical ailments. And if I remember rightly, his temperature was more than 40 degrees. In the second incident, medical staff prevented Patton from using a pistol. Apparently, Patton claimed that battle fatigue, as it was known then, was a concept created by Jewish psychiatrists. However, it is largely his sympathy for Nazi racial policies, where it is clear that he is several pennies short of a shilling. In November 1942, after the Allies had pushed the Axis powers out of Morocco in the North African campaign, Lieutenant General Patton, commander of the 7th Army, asked General Eisenhower to maintain the Vichy regime's anti-Jewish laws in Morocco, modelled on the Nuremberg laws. It appears that Patton thought that this would go down well with the local Arab population. Furthermore, he attempted to stop the release of Jews held in labour camps as a way of stopping any Jewish conspiracy. I'm quoting him. With the war over, President Harry S. Truman's envoy, Earl Harrison, toured the DP camps in 1945. DP camp being displaced persons, so that would be people above all from territories occupied by the Soviet Union, who felt for one reason or another that they couldn't go back home. He reported that we appear to be treating the Jews as the Nazis treated them, except that we do not exterminate them. Now, many of the people in these camps were, of course, Jewish. Truman ordered Eisenhower to improve the conditions of the DP camps, and he passed on the order to Patton. Patton wasn't very happy to do this. He wrote in his diary, "Harrison and his ilk believe that the displaced person is a human being, which he's not, and this applies particularly to the Jews who are lower than animals." Given his earlier behaviour on the battlefield, where he showed no interest in supporting non-US units, taking supplies from other US units, annoying the Soviet allies, and his clear mental health problems, Eisenhower had little choice but to remove him and give him a rest. After his rest, Patton returned to Europe to assume the post of military governor of the US occupation zone in Germany, replacing Eisenhower, who had been named Chief of Staff of the US Army. Patton was opposed to denazification, claiming that this would weaken the West, which would be unable to stop a Soviet invasion. Of course, in Patton's land of hatred, denazification was just a Jewish plot. He wrote in his diary that the Jews were a virus spreading revenge against all Germans. Patton was very lucky. He died in a car crash on the 21st of December 1945, so his memory remained unsullied to a large extent by his clear mental health issues. But had he lived, no doubt all of this would have come out into the open, and he would have faced a rather sharp end to his career, probably. I recently went to a place called Chenogne in Belgium, in the Ardennes, which is to the west of Bastogne, or southwest Bastogne, and there a massacre of German soldiers took place. And in his diary, Patton wrote that he hoped to clear it wouldn't, to cover it up so it wouldn't become known. Of course, Patton was not responsible for the massacre, so at all. I have to make that absolutely clear. The fact is, though, he did try to cover it up, and it is the person who wrote his up his diary, his biography later, then sort of changed it as well. The words of what was actually there. So that was another thing. I think that little things about Patton are just coming out more and more. Anyway, short video there on the state of Patton's health. Now, when I actually wrote this as part of an article which was published in 2014, I had some very nasty comments sent to me, insulting me personally because I dared to insult Patton, and also abusing me for being British and insulting this great hero. But as you'll have noticed on this channel, I do intend to look at the real history behind things and to explore these issues. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you found that interesting, and all the best from me. Bye for now.